computer. All right. Good evening, everyone. This is Cristina Campbell. I'm so glad to be here, but more importantly, I'm glad that you're here. I love it when you join me. We have and people join as I continue to teach. So I'm just happy. Tonight we're going to be talking about the nervous system, and I want to give you kind of an overview of what we're going to be talking about. First of all, we're going to do that anatomy, physiology, what comprises the nervous system, how the nervous system functions, and the difference between the parasympathetic and the sympathetic nervous system. We're going to talk about causes and symptoms of nerve disorders and neurological challenges that you might have or may know of someone that might have it. We're going to talk about the effects of food additives and excitotoxins on the brain and how this can affect our nervous system, the health of our nervous system. We're going to then, culminate all of this with talking about which essential oils and oil applications can support a healthy nervous system. As we age and we're getting bombarded with all of these toxins, environmental toxins, not to mention the excitotoxins that I'm going to talk about later, we're seeing more nerve-related issues. So this is definitely a subject that you may want to share with your friends. You may want to take the recording off of YouTube and, email it to your friends if they're having trouble. So let's first talk about our central nervous system. It consists of the brain and the spinal cord. The brain is encased in a neurocranium, and it's surrounded by protective membranes that we call meninges. And the meninges float in a crystal clear cerebral spinal fluid. It has a cylindrical and elongated spinal cord attached to it that lies in a vertebral canal. This is, God created this so that it would be protected, because, boy, when we damage that spinal cord, then we, lose the ability to walk or even breathe, depending on where it's been damaged. So what is the nervous system? It's the smallest yet most complex of all the body systems. It's an intricate and highly organized network of billions of neurons, and it includes the brain, which is a central nervous system, right? 12 pairs of cranial nerves and their branches, the spinal cord, and 31 pairs of spinal nerves and their branches. Wow. It has ganglia, enteric plexuses, and sensory receptors as well. And it integrates all body activities by sensing changes and interpreting and reacting. Think of, how you sense if you put your hand on a burner, how you interpret, oh, I'm going to burn myself if I keep my hand here, and how you react by pulling away because of the sensory perceptions of that nervous system. It's that simple. It's that simple. This does not have to be complicated. Okay, so let's talk about the function then. So there's a couple of different functions. One is sensory, and that was what I just used as an example, the stove. It detects internal and external stimuli, and then it carries the information to the brain and to the spinal cord. That's the first type of function. The second function is integrative. And what that does is it processes the sensory information in the brain. It's gone up the spinal cord, right? And analyzes it and then stores the appropriate decision-making response, or at least goes into storage for that response. If you're a baby and you're really, this is something new to you and you put your hand on a hot stove, it's going to have to store that information the first time. So if I inadvertently, as an adult, I have that stuff stored in my brain cells, and I inadvertently burn myself on the burner, I know how to respond. I already have the information stored. So it also provides, the nervous system provides the muscular contraction and glandular secretion needed for the response. That's pretty awesome. And again, you know, every time I give these kind of anatomy, physiology classes, it's like, gosh, we are so fearfully and wonderfully made, right? It is so amazing to me. I am so grateful for the human body that God has encased my spirit in. Some people call it spirit, some people call it soul, but we are spiritual beings having a physical existence. So that's what's really cool about who we are, part of who we are. Okay, let's talk about the peripheral nervous system. This is the stuff, you know, on the fingertips. This is the stuff on the bottom of your feet. This is the stuff on the skin. It's the channel for the relay of sensory and motor impulses between the central nervous system, the brain and spinal cord, and the body's surface, also the skeletal muscles and the internal organs. The peripheral nervous system is composed of spinal nerves, cranial nerves, and certain parts of the autonomic nervous system. And the nervous pathways are made up of all these neurons, these little nerve cell bodies, and their axons and dendrites and synapses. Of synapses as pistons in a car when they used to fire. These are points at which the neuron communicates with the next neuron. Oh, it's amazing. It is just amazing. So let's talk about the autonomic nervous system then. It controls involuntary body functions like heartbeat and breathing, digestion, glandular activity and contractions, and dilation of the blood vessels. But it's composed of two parts, the sympathetic and the parasympathetic nervous system. The sympathetic has stimulatory effects, stress hormones like adrenaline and noradrenaline, whereas the parasympathetic has relaxing effects. It secretes acetylcholine to slow the heart and speed digestion. So we've broken that down into, for the parasympathetic, rest and digest, and for the sympathetic, fight or flight. So the parasympathetic nervous system is rest and digest. It supports body functions that conserve and restore body energy during rest and recovery. The 5 parasympathetic responses using the acronym SLUD, or SLUDD, are salivation, lacrimation, which is the production of tears or secretion of tears, urination, digestion, and defecation. 3 decreased responses are decreased heart rate, reduction in the diameter of the airways, and constriction of pupils. On the other hand, the sympathetic nervous system is fight or flight, and it favors body functions that support physical activities and reduces body functions that store energy. It includes physical exertion as well as emotional responses such as stress. So the sympathetic situations all begin with an E: exercise, emergency, excitement, and embarrassment. That's what causes that fight or flight. Some people who are under constant chronic stress are in this fight or flight mode 24/7, and this is very, very unhealthy. It's like having your foot on the brake, one foot on the brake, the left foot on the brake, and the right foot on the gas pedal, and you're revving the engine continually. It's going to cause nerve disorders or neurological diseases, not to mention a host of other problems. So let's look at some of these nerve disorders. Nerve disorders involve the peripheral or surface nerves, neuralgia, neuritis, neuropathy, Bell's palsy, which I think is directly related to stress, carpal tunnel syndrome, you're stressing that wrist with repetitive movement, and neurological diseases are associated with disturbances in the brain. ALS, Lou Gehrig's disease, multiple sclerosis, and Parkinson's disease. Always use cold packs for neurological problems to reduce pain and inflammation while reducing the temperature of the damaged site. When you have nerve damage, always use cold. When you're treating someone, an MS client or patient, or giving them a raindrop as a family or friend, always never use hot packs. Like we learned, years ago. Always even ask them, would you like a cool cloth on your back just to cool them down? It tends to not overstimulate those nerves. So neuropathy or peripheral nerve damage, the symptoms are tingling in the hands and feet, and it can spread to limbs and trunk. The complications come from, or the causes come from complications from diabetes, alcoholism, vitamin B12 deficiency, painkillers, and exposure and absorption of chemicals. The recommendation is to boost the production of pregnenolone and human growth hormone. And we're going to tell you how to do that as we get deeper into, treating, well, not treating, yet, well, you know what I mean, addressing neurological problems. Neuralgia is when you have pain from damaged nerves. Now, I know of people who have tingling, but it really isn't painful. It's not like a stabbing pain. Neuralgia is a temporary sharp pain in the peripheral nerves. And it may also include numbness or lack of feeling in that affected area. And the causes are due to inflammation from an injury, possibly, or an autoimmune disease such as lupus or Guillain-Barré syndrome. The recommendation for this is applying anti-inflammatory essential oils, and we'll go through some of those. Neat, which means not diluted. Or if it is like an elderly person, somebody with thin skin or very, very sensitive skin, you can dilute it, but apply it 3 to 4 times a day and place a cold compress on that location 2 to 3 times a day. So you're applying the oil to that pain, that neuralgia, that sharp pain, and then you're putting a cold pack on. And you're doing this, the oil you're applying 3 to 4 times a day, and the cold pack you're applying 2 to 3 times a day. Carpal tunnel syndrome is a specific type of neuralgia. So rather than have to wear a splint or have to have surgery, try this first. Try using some anti-inflammatory oils that I'm going to suggest to you in a little bit. Neuritis. Neuritis is painful as well. It's painful inflammation of the peripheral nerves. You're going to get pain and burning and numbness and tingling and muscle weakness. You can even get paralysis from neuritis. And the causes are from frostbite, cold temperatures, heavy metal poisoning, diabetes, vitamin deficiency, and infectious diseases. Palsy is a type of neuritis, but I believe that that's more of a stress-related, or it could be, when we're stressed, we get a vitamin deficiency and a mineral deficiency, because our bodies just suck up those vitamins and minerals. So under situations of stress, you want to increase your minerals and increase your vitamin C for sure. Your vitamin C for sure. Okay, let's talk about multiple sclerosis, MS. This is not, this has been considered an autoimmune disease. It's progressive, and it is the disease of the central nervous system. It destroys the myelin sheath around the nerve fibers of the brain, the spinal cord, and the optic nerves. So that's why you can go blind with MS, those optic nerves. You can lose the movement of some parts of your body because it's affecting the spinal cord. Remember, I said if you damage the spinal cord, you can have paralysis. It affects the transmission of nerve impulses because they're impaired, and particularly in pathways involved with the vision, sensation, and movement, as I was mentioning. So the symptoms are muscle weakness in the extremities, deteriorating coordination and balance, numbness or prickly sensation, poor attention or memory, incontinence, dizziness, and hearing loss. Cold baths and relaxed swimming are two of the best activities for relieving the symptoms of MS. For severe symptoms, you want to lower the body temperature and receive a raindrop with essential oils. And again, don't follow it with hot towels, but follow it with a cool towel. ALS or Lou Gehrig's disease. This is a sad disease. I've taught at nursing homes, and I've seen people with Lou Gehrig's, and it is a degenerative nerve disorder. It affects nerve fibers in the spinal cord, which control voluntary movement. So they can't move. They're usually slumped in a chair. Their muscles are not reacting, but it doesn't affect their sight, their smell, their taste or hearing or touch. It does not affect the bladder or bowel function or a person's ability to think or reason. So they're like all there, but their body isn't responding. They can't get their body to do anything. Essential oils may help clear the emotions of fear and anger and help work through the psychological and emotional aspect of many of these diseases as well. So you're always going to use, even with the physical healing oils that you're going to use for neurological disorders, you're going to use a lot of emotional oils. Symptoms are difficulty breathing, difficulty swallowing, because they have head drop and they can't get that esophagus straight up. Their head drop is due to weak spinal and neck muscles, and they get muscle cramps and muscle weakness, paralysis. Their speech is going to be affected, really slow, abnormal speech pattern. The voice will change, it'll get hoarse. There'll be a lot of drooling because there's no muscle control there, muscle spasms, muscle contractions, and weight loss. These are sad diseases, I'm telling you. Parkinson's.
Hey, Christina.
Yes.
It's Nancy. I'm sorry to interrupt, but could you mute everybody, please? There's a lot of background noise.
Oh, okay.
Thanks
Sorry.
a lot. That's okay. Thanks.
I know I have people over here too, so I'm hoping
Okay.
that my husband is watching the Cardinals game with a neighbor, and I'm hoping that doesn't, is that what you hear?
I'm not sure, but it was just, I wasn't listening to you as much as I was listening to the noise.
Oh, sorry.
You know how that goes.
Yeah, I hope it's better now.
Okay, thanks.
Yeah. So I did mute everybody. Okay. So Parkinson's disease is deterioration of specific nerve centers in the brain, and it affects men more than women, 3 to 2. There's no pain or other sensation other than decreased ability to move. Symptoms appear slowly and in no particular order, and some of the symptoms are tremors, so involuntary shaking of the hands, the head, or both. Rigidity, slow movement or loss of balance. Stooped posture, trouble swallowing, depression, and difficulty performing small tasks. Restoring dopamine levels in the brain can reduce these symptoms. Sulfurzyme provides a source of organic sulfur, which is a vital nutrient for nerve and myelin sheath formation. So this would be really important for MS as well. Let's talk about the effects of food additives and excitotoxins on the brain, because these are what can lead to some of those terrible diseases that we just talked about. Excitotoxins are substances such as aspartame that react with specialized receptors in the brain in such a way as to lead to destruction of certain types of brain cells. Glutamate is one of the more commonly known excitotoxins, and it's in MSG, sodium salt of glutamate. So you'll see sodium glutamate, MSG, monosodium glutamate. That's what MSG stands for, monosodium glutamate. And what it is it's a flavor enhancer. So in any time that you're buying prepackaged prepared foods, they're going to add a flavor enhancer because they want you to come back and buy more, right? And it's got this MSG in it, which is an excitotoxin, which causes brain damage. And I know that that sounds pretty drastic or dramatic. You know, these things in our food can cause brain damage, but the fact is that they're also cumulative. And so, what was the name of the product? When we were kids, when we were kids, they used to sell a product called Accent, ACCENT. Mother had it on her shelf. Little did she know that it was 100% MSG and that it was causing brain damage to everybody in that family that used it. And of course, they touted it as a meat tenderizer, but it was also a meat flavorizer, if you will. You know, they just didn't know. They just didn't know. And this was in the 60s, 70s. I don't think Accent is on the, it may still be in the market because it's in my next picture. But gosh, I hope nobody buys. Just shake a little poison. Why not shake a little rat poison on your food, right? There's a strong connection between dietary excitotoxin excess and neurological dysfunction and disease. Chronic elevations of blood glutamate can breach the intact blood-brain barrier. And last week we talked about how essential oils could cross the blood-brain barrier, and that was a good thing. This week we're talking about chemicals crossing the blood-brain barrier, and that being a very bad thing. It can breach, and numerous conditions can leave the barrier incompetent. For 100 million Americans now consume products containing one or more excitotoxins, which go by 40 different names. Excitotoxin injury is a special concern for the fetal stage to adolescence during this critical period of brain function. People don't take this seriously. They don't take this seriously at all. Nervous system is significantly weakened and made more susceptible to excitotoxic injury. And here, and you know what's really sad, and I hate to put this on, but I'm going to do it on recording. Doritos, you see the Doritos back there? My great-grandson, Leon, loves Doritos. And I know how bad it is for him. I don't buy them for him, of course, but he's allowed to have it in his home. And it's just, I just have to let it go. I mean, you know, people are going to do what people do, right? I can teach this stuff to anybody who'll listen, but somebody will still go out and use ranch dressing on their salad and chew gum, which all gum As far as I know, I've not found too many gums that don't have aspartame in them. Or they'll, you know, MSG is in Campbell's soup. List of foods containing excitotoxins, please go to www.msgtruth.org. And then you can do /avoid.htm. But I think if you just go to msgtruth.org, you'll probably find more information than you want. It's sad that these foods are approved to be sold on our shelves, and they're known to cause cell death in the brain. Take this seriously, guys. You know I do. Therapeutic grade essential oil applications. Let's talk about some methodologies, modalities that you can use to help. If you can get yourself a neuroauricular probe, that would be great. It is a medical device and they quit selling it here in the United States, but you might be able to get one on Amazon. I don't know anymore. I haven't looked in quite a few years because it had been so hard to find, but it's called an auricular probe. I'm going to look it up real quick for you guys. Auricular probe. I'm looking up on Amazon to see if you can get one. These are steel. The one that you're seeing here is glass. I think I would prefer a glass one. So what I use is, you know, a dropper bottle, like the mineral essence dropper bottle. You can, or it can be. You can take the dropper out of that, and that the tip of that dropper is rounded. The glass tip is rounded, and you can use it just like a neuroauricular probe. And this particular technique has originated by D. Gary Young. It was used specifically for the treatment of Parkinson's disease, but is found to be really, really helpful in many types of neurological diseases. And just for relaxing, it is suitable for stimulating the area of vagus nerve complex along the occipital ridge that's in the back of the head, right along the bottom of the skull, and the cervical vertebrae, the first 6. We're going down to about C7, C1 to C7, about 6 inches or a little bit more. On the back of the neck there. Okay. The vagus nerve complex is the largest nerve bundle affecting the physiological reactions of fight and flight. I got to turn up my alarm. Sorry, guys. So the vagus nerve complex is the largest nerve bundle affecting the physiological reactions of fight and flight, often called stress, right? So if you're stressed, this is a great technique. They give this technique at the clinic in Ecuador. It's almost included in your treatments, raindrops, NAT, neuroauricular technique, all of that. Originally used for Parkinson's disease, but now it's used for people and animals in crisis, trauma, and PTSD. So you can use this on animals as well. This might be a good one for my neighbor's lab. Huh. There's 6 oils that are used in an easy to learn 7-step procedure to offer a deep level of stress reduction. And that's why they use it at the clinic. Or the spa. We call it the Nova Vita Spa now. The oil sequence is you first use frankincense, then valerian, then vetiver, then Roman chamomile, then cedarwood, then sandalwood. There's a whole protocol, and I have that protocol somewhere. So if you're interested in it, let me know. We'll get it to you. I know I've sent it out before, but we'll see. Okay, so here's some oils that are going to help with neurological disorders. I got it right here tonight because I put it in my new blend, Reflection Frankincense. It supports growth hormone. Oh, that's patchouli. Wait a minute. Frankincense. Oh, yeah, frankincense. Remember I told you that tremors, carpal tunnel, any of these things, you need to add pregnenolone or growth hormone. That's what one of the things that frankincense does. So you want to make sure that you anoint yourself every day with frankincense. If you do have tremors or neuritis or anything like that, you're going to put the oil right on the location. This also alleviates depression, so it's really good for you know, those neurological disorders that are lending to, like Lou Gehrig's disease, and you know, those that are lending to diabetes as well. Promotes relaxation, reduces inflammation. Again, you can use this as a dietary supplement too. You can put it in a capsule. But this is great. I've been using Roman chamomile now every night. I have made this blend that I absolutely love before I go to bed. I have all this tea tree oil, right? And I'm not a big tea tree fan. So, but I've had a few bug bites recently, and so I've been putting tea tree on it. I know that purification is good too, but my bottle was empty downstairs. So I put tea tree, then I put 1 drop of peppermint. I put like 2 drops or 3 drops of tea tree, then 1 drop of peppermint, and then 2 drops of Roman chamomile. Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh, it does not smell like tea tree at all. It smells wonderful. Just try it. Okay, so that's 3 drops of tea tree, 1 drop of peppermint, and maybe 2 drops of Roman chamomile. I put it in my hands and then I rub it, you know, where I might have any bug bites. I have a bad one right on my shoulder. I was in the woods about 3 days ago now. It's been, I think I'm on my 4th day, and it's still hot and it's still swollen, but I keep putting that oil on there and I know that it's getting better. Roman chamomile is a nerve generator. It's a regenerator. It's an anti-inflammatory, it's an anesthetic, so it helps to kill pain and it combats nervousness. And again, you can put it on location. You can put it on the ankles, on the wrist. Just get it on the body. You can also take it as a dietary supplement. Just use it. You know, people get so wound around the axle with how many drops and how to use, and don't worry about all that. Just use it and use it daily, and use as much as you can if you have an issue. I just wish people would get that. If you get that, give me a thumbs up. If you understand that, raise your hand. I really, really want to know that people are understanding. Here's peppermint. It's an anti-inflammatory. It's an analgesic. It stimulates the brain, but not so much at night that it keeps me awake or anything. I don't have any trouble with that. And again, I just put it in my hands with all those other oils, those other 2 oils, and I just breathe it in. And it is fantastic. If you, honestly, if you don't like the smell of tea tree, or you're just sick of the smell of tea tree, you need to try that blend. It's awesome. You can make sure you avoid contact with your eyes or mucous membranes, fresh wounds or burns with peppermint, because it can sting, but it's not going to cause any damage. You know, it's just going to smart a little bit. Helichrysum is great for regenerating nerves. It's great for stopping bleeding. It's an anesthetic. It chelates chemicals and toxins out of the liver. It is an awesome oil. It's expensive. It's about $88 for a 5 ml bottle, but I'm telling you, you've got to have Helichrysum in your arsenal. And you should, if you have, so they do a test where they can measure how much blockage you might have in your cardiovascular system, like the carotid arteries, for example. And as you get older, that percentage might decrease. You have 60% blockage, 50% blockage. If you're a smoker, that's gonna really go up. Helichrysum has the ability to dissolve that plaque buildup on the inside of those arteries, but you have to use it every day. Make up a blend, Aroma Life, and then add some extra Helichrysum to it and apply that to your neck every day, or your heart every day, or the bottom of your feet every day, so that it gets in your bloodstream, or your liver every day. Helichrysum is in every one of our liver products. It's in Juva Cleanse, it's in GLF, it's in Juva Flex, because it's so good for chelating heavy metals. And remember, one of those neurological diseases was caused by heavy metal poisoning. So if you still have amalgams in your mouth, you need to get them out and detoxify that mercury, those amalgams in your mouth. I got mine out a long time ago. Rosemary. Oh yeah, rosemary is great. It improves mental clarity. It boosts alertness. It helps overcome fatigue. It amplifies mental ability. So, when you're having neurological disorders and you're feeling depressed or, less than. So I'm looking up rosemary. And it also disinfects the air, but it's a hypertension modulator. So it brings down high blood pressure. Anti-inflammatory, and it's liver protecting. It's really good for impaired memory, like Alzheimer's. So it's good for the brain. So I knew that there was more to be said about rosemary. And here it is, guys. We got it back. Wintergreen. Order it, order it, order it. And hopefully we won't run out. It's highly anti-inflammatory. Kenneth uses it in his mouth. He uses it as a topical analgesic. It's soothing to nerve pain. We take baths in it. The good news is we've been continuing to use Aroma Seeds, which has wintergreen in it, in our baths, and it's so soothing to our muscles, especially with all the gardening I do. And my gardens look fabulous this year, I just have to say. I've spent literally hours of days of hours out there, and it has paid off. So put it wherever you need to soothe nerve pain. There is a caution: avoid use of epileptic. Anticoagulant properties can be enhanced when used with blood thinners. So just keep that in mind. I'd rather not have you on blood thinners. I'd rather have you use oils, but you're going to do what you're going to do, right? Lavender. Lavender is great. We underestimate lavender. It is the Swiss Army knife. It is the universal oil. It does a little bit of everything for everything. It's anti-inflammatory. It relieves nervous tension. It improves mental acuity. It increases the beta waves in the brain. This is kind of cool. It reduces mental stress. It alleviates depression. So in cases of ADD and ADHD, you want to increase beta waves in the brain. And lavender will do that. And just apply it on location, Vitaflex points, directly inhale it, diffuse it, and take it as a dietary supplement. Valor. Valor is great for balancing the electrical energies in the body. And what is the central nervous system? It is it is our electrical switching house, right? It is the control, the command center of the body. So we need to keep this in balance, and we need to keep it from being bombarded by electromagnetic frequency, EMF, and Valor will do that. And, you know, if you've ever been on any of my classes where I always tell you I've got Valor right by my computer every moment of every day, and here it is. And the way that you use Valor, it says right in here, when using a series of oil, always use Valor first and add it to your wrist by, I have a roller ball on this, and I'm rolling it on my wrist. You can see the blue. And then I'm rubbing my wrists together and I'm holding it there for 15 seconds. Do this throughout the day when you're in front of your computer. If you work, if you have to go to work, make sure you have a, now not too many people can get 15 ml bottles of Valor, but when you can, you know, go for it. Otherwise, stock up on 5 ml bottles and have one in your office, have one at your home office. And of course, have one in your car so that when you go to the chiropractor, you're putting it on the bottom of your feet and your wrists like that, so that you adjust easier. It promotes feelings of self-confidence. It's grounding, it's strengthening. It helps overcome fear and negative emotions. I love to use it on my pets. Opens and releases emotional blocks. It stimulates the limbic part of the brain. It alleviates feelings of despair and stress. And you can use it a number of ways, but the way that I use it is just the way I just showed you. PanAway. I emptied the PanAway downstairs as well. I need to go put another bottle down there. Reduces inflammation. It's analgesic. This is really good for Bell's palsy. It's good for neuritis. It's strongly anti-inflammatory. It's a powerful pain blocker. And just, you can dilute it and put it on location. I don't ever diffuse PanAway. That's just not something I did. I've always put it on location and I've never ingested it. And there is not a vitality PanAway. So I think, and it's got Helichrysum, Wintergreen, clove, and peppermint. So that is a, you know, powerful quadruple oil blend there. And you can use that, like I said, just topically is the best way. Aroma Seeds, this is a, we must have this in our house kind of oil because we use it so frequently in the bath. And of course I use it with the Raindrop, but this is our bath go-to. You can either put it in a bath gel or 1 or 2 cups of Epsom salts. I put about 20 drops, up to 20 drops in the bath. We go through this stuff. I also use Cool Azul. That's a little pricier, but I love it because it just seems to get your whole body tingling. But it calms the nerves, it relieves stress. It's a significant analgesic, so it helps with muscular pain. It's anti-inflammatory. It is the best. Dilute Aroma Seeds if you want to apply it in a raindrop. But I just put it straight in with Epsom salts or the unscented bath gel. Deep relief is another one. This is great for headaches, but it calms stressed nerves. So if you're wanting to get out of that flight or fight, use your stress away, use your deep relief, reduces inflammation, relieves pain. It's great for use with the NAT, especially any of the roller balls. So we would recommend Rutavala with NAT, deep relief with NAT, Tranquil with NAT. You can roll those oils right on those spots on either side of the spine from C1 to C6 and then along the occipital ridge. And you're doing little circles all the way along that occipital ridge. This contains peppermint, lemon, Idaho balsam fir, copaiba, clove, wintergreen, helichrysum, vetiver, and palo santo in a fractionated and virgin coconut oil. Clarity is also a great one. Promotes clear mind. I love clarity. Amplifies mental alertness, improves brain activity, and that's what we want to do. Improve brain activity and vitality. It's anti-inflammatory, it revitalizes the nervous system, alleviates mental fatigue. And again, you can I've put this in the tub before, but I've diffused this a lot. I really diffuse this a lot, especially if I have to think. When I used to run on the treadmill, I used to diffuse it all the time. And it got to be my go-to oil for running, just because I do a lot of thinking or listening when I'm outside or running or doing what, that's a no-brainer activity. So I've got to do something in conjunction with the physical activity to stimulate my brain. It's just me. So brain power. Brain power is another one. It's great for, you can use brain power and NAT as well, along the spine, that first 6 inches, along the occipital ridge of the skull. It promotes deep concentration and increases mental clarity. So that's what we're constantly looking for, right? And its long-term use may retard the aging process as far as mental aging. So it's going to help with your memory. It's high in sesquiterpenes. And remember, sesquiterpenes are able to pass the blood-brain barrier, stimulating the thing like the pituitary gland and the pineal gland, and also the limbic region of the body where memory resides. So this is really important. It alleviates brain fog. It's beneficial for neuralgia. And we're talking about the nervous system. So, that is your central nervous system. Again, apply it to the back of the neck. Gary used to say, put it on your thumb and place your thumb to the roof of your mouth and suck your thumb like a child. Just go back into childhood. Get that up into that cleft so it goes directly up into the brain. That's where you want it. That's where you want it. All right, that's pretty awesome, huh? All right, let's talk about some supplements. I was talking earlier about sulfurzyme being really good for MS and Parkinson's disease. It supports every major function of the body. If you're not taking sulfurzyme, you're missing out. It combats autoimmune diseases like lupus and MS that we were talking about earlier. It alleviates pain associated with inflammation. I mean, if you listen to this entire nervous system class, having a healthy nervous system class, and you did nothing but chose one thing to do better, I would take sulfurzyme. Honestly, I would take sulfurzyme. And I would take sulfurzyme for anything that's going on in your body. If you're anywhere around my age, you better be taking sulfurzyme. And a lot of times I know that you are in my class so that you can hear it again because you've tapered off. You were doing it, you were giving it 100%, you were taking your sulfurzyme every morning and every night, and then boom, you kind of fell off. And you come to my classes and you go, oh yeah, I need to get back on my sulfurzyme. If I do nothing for anybody but that, I think that's really a great opportunity to help. So the lowest maintenance level is 2 caps. That's what it said. 2 capfuls 2 times a day. That's what it says on the back of the bottle. I'm here to tell you, I can take 4 to 8 twice a day. You can't get too much of sulfurzyme. If you want a really good book on the miracle of MSM, the natural solution of pain, I have it on my bookshelf over there. It's by UCLA neuropsychiatrist Dr. Ronald Lawrence and Stanley Jacob. And they were really close friends in the very beginning of Young Living with Gary because of Gary's belief on MSM and his putting together sulfurzyme. And they promoted sulfurzyme. Dr. Lawrence and Stanley Jacob promote. I don't know if they're still around. I mean, that was 25 years ago, but it's a very good possibility. Omegagize is something that's really good. It's reduces systemic inflammation. It supports brain health. Anytime we can get more omegas, eating food that are high in omega-3s is important. So just remember to take your Omegagize. It includes vitamin D3, but I take vitamin D3 supplement as well. Young Living's super vitamin D. It also includes CoQ10, which is really good for the heart. It's a powerful antioxidant. You can take, I take up to 9 Omegagize a day. There's nothing wrong with that. It's my way of getting my fish oil in. It's my way of getting my omega-3s, and we don't get enough. Another thing that I meant to order and I forgot, I need to write a note, is I want to get back those olive essentials, because I was reading about olive oil the other day and I'm like, I need to be taking olive essentials. And so that my order goes in probably tomorrow. It's the 1st, olive essentials. And I'm going to make sure that I get a couple of bottles of those and I start taking those regularly as well. Super B is the #2 supplement for healing nerve damage. It's critical for nerve function. If you have tremors, take vitamin B, Super B. It's important during times of stress. It supports proper action of those growth hormones that I told you about. I have a girlfriend that takes 2 tablets daily. So the directions are 1/2 to 1 tablet daily. You have to have a tablet splitter if you're going to split this in half, because they're hard. But I just started taking 1 to 2 a day. I actually increased over the last 5 years and find that my body really needs extra B vitamins. And of course, Super C, this prevents premature aging. It's a potent antioxidant. It helps with shrinkage of tumors. I'm telling you, if you want to get healthy, take massive amounts of vitamin C. I take maybe 4 to 6 a day. 1 to 2 tablets is if you're like 25, really healthy, athletic, you're out there every day, you can just, take the 2. But physical stress, alcohol, smoking, and certain medications lower the blood levels of this essential vitamin. So that's why you need to add it and take more. Mineral essence, this is really important for nerve health. Ionic mineral complex balances electrolytes, helps prevent disease and aging. It's necessary for proper immune and metabolic function. You're going to be a new person if you take mineral essence, I'm telling you. It's required for vitamin stimulation and absorption. Just take 5 dropperfuls in cold water. Or you can put it in your Ningxia Red. I don't like to put it in my Ningxia Red because I love the taste of my Ningxia Red. Or you can put it in a little bit of orange juice. But now I've started to put it in cold water, and it's tolerable for me. PD8020 is going to increase that pregnenolone and the DHEA, which is the growth hormone. It's a really potent capsule. I would stick to these directions, start with 1 capsule per day and then increase to 2 capsules per day as needed. It helps prevent premature aging. It supports the central nervous system. This would be the #3 supplement. If I took nothing else, I would take sulfurzyme. I would take, what was that other one I said? B, sulfurzyme, B, and PD8020. And I would take it every day. Of course, Ningxia Red, that goes without saying. You drink your Ningxia Red every day. It's low glycemic. It prevents against free radicals. I cannot believe how much energy I don't have if I forget to take it. The garden will wear me out. But if I come in and I do 4 ounces of Ningxia Red, about 2 ounces of pineapple juice, about 1/2 a can of nitro, Zing, and 1 nitro, and sit and drink that, I'm ready to go again. I am ready to go again, and that's all I had. It's amazing. It's better than coffee. It gives me a mental clarity and alertness better than coffee. I love that drink, and I love pineapple juice, so it's kind of my big treat that I get to have in the afternoon. And I've been doing it pretty consistently now because it's something I need in the afternoon. I'm kind of I put so much time out in that garden and so much energy. And of course I walk in the morning, and So I'm expending a lot. I'm active and I need to get my boost of fuel. And that's my fuel.
Hey, Christina,
Yes.
I done had one of my coworkers, I let her try a Zing, and she normally does like Monster or Red Bull. And she, I asked her the next day how she, if, how she liked it. And she was like, oh my God, there was so much of a difference. Like normally, by noon, I'm needing another one or I done crashed. But no, I had enough energy throughout the day and had enough energy to do stuff in the afternoon when I got home from work.
That is awesome. Just from
Uh,
one Zing. Yeah, I believe it
mhm.
because it is just, you're fueling your body instead of fooling your body. You're fueling your body. When we take all those caffeinated beverages, we're fooling our body into believing that we have energy that we really don't have. When we take good nutrition like this, we're fueling our body that gives us the energy that we really need. I think I'm going to coin that phrase. We're fooling our body. Yeah. Here's a Raindrop Kit. I mentioned that it's really good for neurological disorders. It comes with 9 oils: Aroma Seeds, basil, cypress, marjoram, oregano, peppermint, thyme, Valor, and Wintergreen. That's 9 oils. It stimulates energy impulses and disperses the oils along the nervous system throughout the entire body. Essential oils applied to the spinal column are absorbed through the nerves that feed the entire body, and they help to reduce spinal inflammation and bringing the body back into balance, especially that Valor, right? Here's a Raindrop Testimonial by a friend of mine, Nancy Weber. She's out of New Jersey. She's awesome. She had a central nervous system damage and spinal surgeries decades ago. I had continual pain and spasms throughout my body. In 1991, I was completely paralyzed for a few weeks from the damage. 2 wonderful friends and healers used the raindrop technique on me, and for the first time since I was 25, I was able to get up pain-free. That night, I had no leg or back spasms. 3 weeks later, I had the great fortune to learn this remarkable technique from Gary Young. This technique has kept my immune system strong, my body pain-free, and far stronger than I've been in years. Now, she wrote this when she was 62, and I'm going to tell you that Nancy is probably hitting 80 now. And I went to Ireland with her and her husband. They're just phenomenal people. So she's still doing Young Living. She's still active. She still teaches Raindrop. She says, I can easily say it has reversed most of the damage to my body, and my ability to help others has expanded tremendously. And she is quite the healer. So that's a great testimonial. OrthoWheeze comes in your Raindrop Kit. I love OrthoWheeze. It's a great massage oil. It has wintergreen, peppermint, thyme, and marjoram in it. And these are anti-inflammatory oils. So if you're looking for oils that are anti-inflammatory, based on what I taught you about neurological disorders tonight, this would be a good all over body massage oil. And you can do it yourself, your legs, your arms, your back, your stomach, your neck, or you can bring it to a massage therapist and say, give me a full, body massage with this. This is one way that you can receive wholesale membership. If you are not a member of Young Living yet, you can order a Raindrop Kit, and because it's about $138 wholesale, it will give you a 24% discount right off the bat. You don't have to purchase a basic or premium starter kit. I need to take that off of there. You get the 9 powerful oils, you get directions on how to give them a raindrop, and then you get 2 massage oils in there. So it's a pretty good value. Oh yeah, I haven't changed this. I still got a while go on there. So if you subscribe to save, that's what this should say. If you subscribe to save, put something on your subscribe to save. That means you're going to get something every month. You're going to get some bonuses back. You're going to get 10, 20, and 25% back in points that you can spend on other Young Living products in the future. So couple of things that you might want to put on that subscribe to save, like 1 month, you might want to put sandalwood and Roman chamomile. Month 2, you might want to try brain power and PanAway. Month 3, you might want to get 2 bottles of Ningxia Red, a bottle of Omegagize, and some mineral essence, and maybe throw in a deep relief. So see, by putting on subscribe to save, you're going to make sure that you are building up your arsenal of oils and supplements that you know that your body would love and that you're going to use and that are going to make you healthier, and you get a nice discount and some loyalty rewards back for that as well. Plus, depending on the amount of your order, you may get other free oils that just come along with your order. So it's win-win. Here are some resources. Here's an auricular probe. Again, I would look for one. I don't think you can get it from Abundant Health for You, but you can check. Here's the essential oils desk reference. There are a number of pamphlets now, but I think you can get them from Healthy Families website instead of Crown Diamond Tools. And then you can Google or look on Amazon for The Miracle of MSM, The Natural Solution from Pain by Dr. Lawrence and Dr. Stanley Jacob. All right, so that wraps it up for learning about how to have a healthy nervous system. We did pretty good on the time tonight. If you have any questions, I'm going to stop the recording. Thank you for joining.